Hey there, Scorpio. Welcome to your reading for the week of December 22nd. You have this Infinite Possibilities card. It says you're on the right path. Favorable energies are guiding you at this time. You have this Dolphin Spirit says stop taking life so seriously and splash some joy in your everyday life. You know what's really funny, Scorpio, is that like everybody this week so far has had something about needing to not be too serious at this time. And so it kind of makes sense. And, we've had a very serious energy for a long time. And I do think the universe wants us to be more playful. Your very first card is the Page of Wands, which is a card of playfulness. He is very playful with life in general. He doesn't take things too seriously. He has fun. He follows his, inspirations and his enthusiasm. So I think that would be an excellent energy for you to embrace right now. I do think that fixed signs, you being one of them, need to open to infinite possibilities because we're definitely in a time of innovation and, just being open to other ways of doing things, as simple as that sounds. That is the thing that will make you successful. You have the Eight of Swords. So, let's start here. In your first row, for your current general energies, you have the Page of Wands, Eight of Swords, Four of Cups. Eight of Swords is only seeing one solution to a problem when there are many. So we need to be open to all solutions with the Eight of Swords to find the solution. Page of Wands is very similar. Again, I think the important thing to remember about the Page of Wands is he does not care how he is going to accomplish something. He's willing to be flexible on the journey. He sets out to accomplish something. If he has to make a change, he makes a change. He doesn't get too worked up about it. And so I feel being flexible is what the Page of Wands is wanting you to do. As my camera goes crazy, apparently. I don't know what's going on with this camera, but there you go. It might be time for another one. This is like 5 years old at this point or something, so it might only be 4 years old, but I guess it's old for a camera. And but anyway, Page of Wands wants you to be flexible and have more fun. You have the Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords is only seeing one solution when there are many. Like I already said, she could easily set herself free by moving forward. There's nothing in front of her. And she could also lean up against those swords and cut her hands free. And then she would be free. So, it's about kind of being open to those easy solutions and, doing things the easy way. Again, I kind of think this is going to be a message this week about keeping things simple, not overcomplicating things. So, again, if you're bumping up against any obstacles or experiencing any challenges or anything like that, I think when we experience a challenge, sometimes we jump to the complicated solution, but this is saying keep it simple. You have the Four of Cups. Four of Cups can represent needing to accept an opportunity that's coming your way. Again, the reason he's not accepting this opportunity is because he's been disappointed at least 3 times before. But this new opportunity is going to be something completely new. And he's also learned from these 3 opportunities, so he just needs to apply what he learned to this one cup, and he will be perfectly fine. So there could be a new opportunity coming in for you. It is interesting that we go up here to the Hermit, to the Six of Cups. This could be an opportunity in love. And, it's definitely, if you want love, I think being open to it would be a good idea, of course. The Hermit could say that you need to get out in public to find love. The Hermit could also say that you need to make your intentions known. And in your next row, you have this card that says, let your intentions be known. So there you go. But let's see. With the Page of Wands, here you go. You have the Hermit. So again, time to get out of Hermit mode here, going this way. You go down to the Death card. It's kind of funny because this here would be like you showing your true colors. The Hermit is hiding at the top of this mountain. And then we go to you, the Death card, and he has his inner light inside his lantern on the Hermit card. So I definitely feel it's time for you to shine here, Scorpio. It's time to, get attention or put yourself out there. With the Eight of Swords, here you go. You have the Knight of Cups. So definitely could be about love, right? If you want love, there could be a knight in shining armor or a person you have your eye on here. And, we have the Hermit right next to it. You have the Six of Pentacles. The Six of Pentacles can be about starting small. It just says you don't have to do anything crazy, but, just putting a little bit of energy into a connection or, flirting with a person or something like that, Scorpio, could make all the difference in the world. So I do think it would be a good time to, make your intentions known or to stand out or, to do something to stand out to a person, whatever you want to call it. So that would be good. With the Four of Cups, you have the Magician. The Magician is about manifestation, of course, and manifesting things that you want in your life. Okay, I figured it out. I must have switched it to eye focus. It's trying to focus on my eye. But anyway, whatever. I'm not going to mess around with this today. And so, again, I think that you could be manifesting, or it's like you've asked for something, especially for those of you that want love, but it could be anything. The other thing is, if you don't want love, this could be just something that you will love. And we are in a great time for the energy of love. I talk about it all the time. We have Uranus and Taurus, your opposite sign. I think people forget that Uranus and Taurus is very heart-based, even though we don't consider Taurus to be the heart. It doesn't matter. This is Chris's crappy astrology here, and I can tell Uranus and Taurus, Neptune and Pisces, very heart-based energy. We have to move towards our heart more at this time. And so if you're coming from a heart-based place, then you will attract faster than if you're just trying to, have something in your life just because. And the Magician wants us to change. It's clear to me that you are in a time of great change. You have that Infinite Possibilities card. You have the Death card, which is you, but the Death card could also say that you are changing. And the thing with the Magician is that to get what we want, we have to change, right? It's like I say this to people all the time. I've had so many people that say, I've been trying to manifest money. I'm not manifesting money. And I'm like, what are you doing that's new? And they're like, nothing. I'm like, well, exactly. You can't be the same. If you have no money right now, you cannot be the same person that has money. You have to be a different person because a different type of person has money, right? And so the easiest thing to do is to adopt the habits, the routines, consume the information that people who have money, that they consume. It's pretty easy to figure out, right? There are plenty of success channels online, so on YouTube for free. And so just consuming that information and changing your habits is one of the quickest ways to manifest. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have the Spider. It says, be meticulous and patient. You have this Minstrel. It says, let your intentions be known. Yes, again, if you're interested in a person, I would just open up here. I would just open up to a connection or, flirt or something. I feel like that, the Spider is about having a process. The Spider is about kind of weaving a web so that you can catch your bugs, right? It's about having a routine, having a process. Definitely think that next year is a good year for people to have a routine, for sure. I talk about this all the time, especially Saturn and Aries. It's like we are starting something, but we have to be disciplined to accomplish it. Having a routine is a very simple way to be disciplined and to stick to something, right? And so if you develop a routine around your job, your business, your career, or anything you're trying to improve, then it will probably improve faster and you'll probably be a lot more successful and in what you are trying to catch, right? And I would definitely do it. You have the Three of Cups, the Hermit, and the Seven of Wands. Three of Cups could be a celebration or having fun. Definitely fun comes up in your reading quite a bit. You have that Dolphin Spirit, Page of Wands, Six of Cups, this card. These cards want you to enjoy life more. Sometimes, I totally used to be this type of person, Scorpio, so I totally get it. But it's I used to have a lot of money problems when I was younger, and it's I took it very seriously. That was exactly the problem, is that I was taking it very seriously, and I was doing nothing with my life except for worrying 24/7, right? And trust me, I never had money. It wasn't until I started going for walks every single day. It's I'm convinced the walking is what started it because it got me out of my head. When I went for walks, I started coming up with ideas. I started coming up with answers. I started, learning new things because I would listen to podcasts and things like that, right? So it broke me out of that energy. And again, I'm convinced that if all we try to do is fix our problems, I'm not saying that we shouldn't fix our problems, right? There's a big difference. What I'm saying is that sometimes focusing on the problem is the problem. So I kind of get that energy here with the Three of Cups. It's encouraging you to, find something that gets you out of your head. You have the Hermit in your head, right? The Hermit knows everything. Everything about him represents knowledge and wisdom. He's climbed to the top of this mountain. He has found his inner light, but he's also kind of staying stuck in his position. So the Hermit kind of says he has to get unstuck. He has to come down from the mountain and shine his inner light to the world. So I think it would be a good time for you to like come down from the mountain, to shine your inner light, to get out into the world, right? All that I think would be very good for you with this card. You always have Virgo coming up in your reading. So again, if you want love, could be another water sign, could be fire, could be a Virgo. Take it how it resonates. Could be any sign, general reading. But it is standing out to me here with this card, so I'm going to say it. But I really feel this is saying you need to trust yourself more, and that will help you move forward. You have the Seven of Wands. You're ready. This is definitely a year, 2025, where I feel in 2025 people have been feeling like they're not ready for whatever it is that you want. And really, I think what the universe has been teaching us is that there never will be a perfect moment to do anything. So he has a shoe and a boot on, or two different shoes on here. The story of the card is that he had to rush out of his home to defend his position at the top of the hill, but he wasn't ready. Or he feels like he wasn't ready. But, the whole point of the card is that he's as ready as he's going to be. So, again, I think that there could be things that you want in life. We go up 6 of Pentacles to the 8 of Wands, which is a quick conclusion or a quick success. And it's basically saying you might as well get started because you're going to be successful and you're as ready as you're going to be. With the 3 of Cups, you have the Devil. A lot of Devil energy in December. Kind of interesting. I would be careful of anything toxic, of course. I think everybody should avoid toxic energy. I literally, at the beginning of December, I said there would be some events this month, and I wasn't wrong. And I told people not to go to public places like a million times in the week of the 8th. I kind of wasn't wrong, right? Luckily, I think this energy is clearing up, although I still think we'll probably see more craziness this month, unfortunately, whatever. And, again, I would avoid any toxicity. On the other side of things, with the Devil, sometimes I think the Devil can represent trapped creative energy. These people have these animal horns on their heads, and it represents our baser instincts. And you've probably heard me say this before, but, it kind of represents trapped root chakra energy. We have a creative idea. We need to, bring it up to our heads and express it into the world. Hermit, twice in your reading. So I feel that there could be, some sort of creation or something you're thinking about creating. You have this Unfinished Symphony card coming up in the next row. Again, just connecting all the dots here. I feel that some of you, it's like you need to, birth something is maybe a good way to put it. That maybe you've already been working on. With the Hermit, you have the 3 of Pentacles. Yeah, teamwork. 3 of Pentacles is a good card. He's getting credit for the work he's done. But again, the Hermit has to shine his inner light. That's the work that you could be doing, is stepping into the light or shining your light brighter. Being a light in the world could be a good thing for you to do, Scorpio. So I would definitely be shining your light in the world here with the 3 of Pentacles and putting your work on display. Again, the whole point of the card is to show off. But he's showing off work that he has done well. It's a card of quality work. So, if you've been working on something and really putting in the effort, it's like time to show off. With the 7 of Wands, you have the Ace of Swords, which is great. Ace of Swords can be a victory. It can be a card of overcoming an obstacle. A lot of people at the end of the year here have had these cards of overcoming obstacles and having victories. In 2026, the 2026 readings I did were all about having victories as well. So, and it's the year of the horse in the Chinese astrology. So, again, I think it could be a victorious year. I think we have to create the victories, though. This is not like, entering a contest and winning, although, that could be part of it, but, it's more like we are doing things to have victories, like your next row. In your next row, you have this Between Worlds card. You have this Unfinished Symphony card. This could be where your victory, or a victory that, I think it's one victory. There could be many over the next year. And you should have many, right? This card says Unfinished Symphony. This could be about you finishing something that you have been working on, presenting it to the world, and having a victory because of it. It doesn't have to be anything physical. It could even just be that you've been working on yourself and you're putting yourself out there in a different way. The Between Worlds card is kind of like a card of being in purgatory. That flamingo is going from black and white to color. So it's like you're stepping out into the world. I don't know if I said this, but this row represents messages from your future self. You have the 6 of Cups, 6 of Pentacles, and the Death card. I love 2 6s. You have the Six of Cups and Six of Pentacles together. 2 sixes to me is like confirmation for your path. It basically says you're doing the right things that you need to be doing at this time to find success, which is excellent. So I feel for a lot of you, this is kind of like confirmation for your path. Again, Six of Cups is like a childlike energy, so being more playful, having more fun. I don't really think this is talking about the past or, this is a card of innocence and nostalgia. I think it's more talking about you being more playful, which would be a good energy for you. I think also what's going to be, prepare now for 2026. And what's important for 2026 is I think we need to be okay with breaking things. Sometimes I think the Six of Cups can come up when we are trying to be too careful, kind of like the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords is very similar, or I should say part of the Seven of Swords is similar, which is, Seven of Swords can say you're trying to do something too delicately. Six of Cups, sometimes I feel very much the same. It looks like she has an oven mitt on her hand right here. And again, sometimes I think it's like she's trying not to get burned. But at the same time, I think we have to be willing to make mistakes. I think the South Node in Virgo makes us want to be too perfect, and perfect doesn't exist. So, again, I think, if you're working on anything, don't be afraid of taking risk. You have the Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles is about planting seeds in a direction, whatever. This camera is going to drive me nuts today. Six of Pentacles is about getting started on something. And so I think that it would be a good time for you to take those steps to finish something that you've been working on for a long time. I would also keep feeding the things that are working. We're in a very nurturing energy time where we have to nurture the things we care about. So, again, I always say, like, we can treat things like a garden or a baby. Both would work. If it's a garden in your life, water it, feed it, fertilize it, give it sunlight. If it's a baby, you have to feed it, change it, all the other stuff. I don't have any babies, so I have no clue what I'm talking about, but whatever. You have to do things with babies to make sure they don't die, right? And so the Six of Pentacles wants you to nurture things into existence. And if you do that, things will go very well. So I would definitely do that. The other thing, by the way, one thing I want to say about breaking things is, again, when we make mistakes and we share those mistakes, makes us more authentic. And next year is definitely going to be a year of authenticity. We will see a lot of masks coming off. Neptune is leaving Pisces. Neptune in Pisces is the mask coming off. But again, these major planets, we don't see the result until after. We don't see really, the change, or we don't see the mask coming off in this case until after. We already have seen some things being exposed, in the world, right? So we're going to see a lot more of that over the coming years for sure. A lot of people getting exposed, things being exposed, issues being exposed, and it's going to happen more and more. And it started now, but again, it's going to happen a lot more as we move forward. But we can take advantage of the energy by being authentic. So making mistakes is a great way to seem like a real person, right? We have AI now. I have people commenting on my videos that they're AI. I'm like, clearly, this is not AI. Find me an AI that can do a full reading, start to finish, no cuts. Not possible right now. Will it be possible? Sure, maybe, right? So it's like, we have to stand out. That's like one proof for you. We have to stand out as real. And, again, that's like an easy way to do it. You have the Death card. Death is a transformation or a change, so big change coming in. I feel like this is you showing up in this reading. You're just showing up as yourself. With the Six of Cups, you have the Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords, again, self-imposed restriction, needing to set yourself free. You could be taking something too seriously. Like I said, we all do it. I've done it a million times in my life where I take things too seriously. Again, we have these polka dots on her cloak here on the Three of Pentacles. Polka dots in the tarot represent needing to not take things too seriously, needing to be more playful. So there you go. With the Six of Pentacles, you have the Judgment card. Judgment is like a wake-up call or a sudden understanding. Again, part of the mask coming off is, I think also with Neptune and Pisces, we could be taking the blindfold off. Neptune and Pisces requires us to trust our intuition more. That doesn't mean we're going to stop trusting our intuition when it leaves in January, at the end of January. It just means that, I think it will, it's like we'll see things a little bit more clearly, and maybe things won't be so, like, in the sky. Basically, it's like Neptune and Pisces, it dissolves things, it can create illusions and all this other stuff. So one benefit of Neptune leaving Pisces, there's a lot. There are a lot of benefits of it, is going to be us seeing things very clearly. With the Death card, you have the King of Cups. Could be a water sign, coming in for you if you want love, for sure. So if you want love, there you go. Could be a Pisces. You came up in Pisces reading, and I said to Pisces that a Scorpio could be stealing them. So I mean, if you're interested in a Pisces, there you go. You could be stealing Pisces from like everybody else. And I don't know. It is popping into my head. The King of Cups also represents your emotions. So we, again, end of Neptune and Pisces could be a little emotional. We have to control our emotions with the King of Cups. He warns us to not drown in our emotions. But at the same time, he's sitting in these choppy waters and he's perfectly fine because he has explored his emotions. He knows how he feels about the things that are going on in his life and he's perfectly fine. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this Hold Your Vision card. Yes. You also have this card that says you are good enough. Yes, I think you need to tell yourself that with the Hermit. I think the Hermit could be saying to you, Scorpio, that you need to tell yourself you are good enough to, accomplish what you're trying to accomplish. We all need to hold our vision. We have Pluto and Aquarius. Pluto and Aquarius, part of Pluto and Aquarius wants us to have a North Star, wants us to have a shining light, something that we focus on creating in life. It's like a point that we are working towards. And so having a vision or an idea of like where you want to be in 20 years, 19 years, whatever, would be a very good idea. It doesn't even have to, probably won't even take that long for you to accomplish your vision if you hold your vision, right? You have the Eight of Wands, Two of Wands, and Four of Swords. Eight of Wands is quick success or a quick conclusion. It is charging forward. It's also about making life smoother, which I'm a big fan of you fixed signs doing this. I think the fixed signs should be looking at areas of their life that are creating friction, where your life is slowing down or maybe things aren't progressing as quickly as you want, and you should be correcting those things or smoothing them out. So if there's anything that's slowing you down or getting in the way, it's like, how can you fix it? Even if you can only fix it just a little bit. If you do that in 10 different places in your life that are causing friction, your life will become smoother, right? And so that is a great thing to do with the Eight of Wands. Next, you have the Two of Wands. I'm not even going to go to the front camera. We're going to go to the side camera here. You have the Two of Wands. Two of Wands about taking the lead. I do think, I've said it to you a million times this year, that Scorpios are going to be one of the leaders of the future, right? I talk to you about this all the time because there's something about Pluto and Aquarius for you. I don't really know what it is, but there's something about it that is like saying you've been through what everybody's about to go through. People are going to be looking to you for answers, and that could be extremely beneficial for you, Scorpio. So, I think it's time for you to step up out into the world, take the lead, show off, speak up, shine that light with the Hermit because you've earned it. And, if you do that, you'll take up more space in the world, you'll expand, you'll experience more success, good things will happen. It's going to require you to be brave. You're going to have to say you're good enough. You need to believe in yourself more, right? If you don't believe in yourself, people won't believe in you. And so working on your confidence, all that stuff, I think would be very good for you as well. And nobody is just confident, you have to work on it. So, look at my videos when I first started this channel, right? It took time to get confident on a camera. It is weird talking to a camera. It takes time to get used to it, right? So it's like, I feel like the Two of Wands is talking about the process of building the confidence. You have the Four of Swords. Yeah, like I probably said this to you recently. I think everybody needs to have a thing that they do in starting now, but all the way through 2026 that recharges your batteries. It could be like a hobby, an interest, something fun that you do. It could be hiding in a closet. I don't care what it is, but I would have something that recharges your batteries. Like I said, it could be meditating, going for a walk. It could be doing something active, going to the gym, whatever, right? Because next year is going to be very busy. And so I think we're going to need something that charges, basically charges us up. You have, with the Eight of Wands, you have the King of Wands, charging forward towards success. Very good. Definitely the Eight of Wands and the King of Wands in the good stuff is very focused. It's an energy of like really charging forward, which is great. With the Two of Wands, told you have the Lovers. Definitely love coming in for those of you that want it. For some of you, I feel like you have your eye on a person already. Right here, like I said, it's almost like you're taking someone off the market, Scorpio. It's like, you could be getting a person that a lot of people are interested in, but you could be the one that's, capturing this person with your little scorpion claws here. With the Four of Swords, you have the Five of Wands. Five of Wands is like conflict or competition. Definitely we are, really we're entering into a time of co-creation, but that doesn't mean that competition is going anywhere. I think the trick with the Five of Wands, for everyone is to study the competition and stand out above the competition. Do something different. Be different. Everything about the astrology this coming year is about sticking out like a sore thumb, like literally. But in a good way, for being different, right? You have this September card in this chair filled. It says someone new is entering your life. There you go. So definitely new love for those of you that want it. You have this diamond. It says you'll be receiving or giving a precious gift. So definitely, we see a lot of good stuff that could represent a gift. Even the Six of Cups can be a gift from the universe. So I feel this is something you've earned that you could be getting. You have this barrel. It says you feel something is lacking in your life, perhaps love, money, or goals. Whatever it is, I would fill in that gap with the barrel card. I feel it's like saying you need to balance out your life. You have this heart card. It says love, deep affection, and caring. Definitely could be love, obviously, coming in for you. And, I feel like this could be a very good connection. These two wanted to come out together. You have this horse. It says short journey. You have this crown. It says honor and respect will come to you. So, if you're going on a journey or if you're starting an adventure, definitely could be leading to honor and respect. But this looks amazing, Scorpio. So thank you for being here. Make sure to leave a comment, and definitely enjoy your week.